This is Brandon with Fleet Feet, and today we are reviewing the On Cloudmonster 3. So the first Cloudmonster actually made waves in 2022. And at the time, it was considered this big, chunky, oversized max cushion foam from On. Typically, On is known for making more minimalist shoes or firmer shoes, but this was an attempt for On to really push into the max cushion game and create something that was energetic and lively. And at the time, those oversized CloudTec pods just created this really energetic feel that a lot of runners loved. It was all in all a pretty big hit. Though the second model of this shoe, while it still retained a lot of that similar energy and technology, the fit changed a little bit and a lot of runners were disappointed with that. Though with this third version, there have been some changes to the midsole and the upper. And I am happy to report that On has really fixed a lot of the issues with the second model and brought a third model that is going to knock your socks off. The weight of the shoe comes in at 8.5 ounces for the women's model and 10.4 ounces for the men's model. And it's mainly used for the roads, and the experience of it that you're gonna get is generally a pretty springy ride, and it comes in at $190. And the upper is one of the biggest improvements from this previous version. Most people had a gripe with the fit issues and the inconsistent sizing that On was offering with the On Cloudmonster 2. But this third model addresses a lot of those issues. And starting with an engineered mesh upper that is lightweight, it's breathable, and it fits way better than the last one. The heel and midfoot haven't really changed too much, but they are nice and snug, and the fit and lockdown are great. And there is a slightly roomy toe box, so you're not gonna have any issues with toe splay. There is a little bit of moderate padding around the heel and in the tongue area, but for the most part, it's a pretty thin upper. But from overall impressions, the upper is secure, it's breathable, it's really nice on foot, it's comfortable, and we had no issues with lockdown or fit. When we were picking up the pace in it or when we were cornering, we really didn't have any issues. But if you did want to figure out whether this shoe or another shoe is going to fit for you, the best thing to do is actually walk into your local Fleet Feet store and try this shoe on for yourself. Go get your foot scanned, it's completely free. Go through the fit ID and outfitting process and figure out more information about your body, so that way you can figure out whether this shoe or another On shoe is going to fit best for you. Now let's move on to the midsole of this shoe, and On hasn't really changed too much from a technology perspective. They're still using that CloudTec cushioning and Helion midsole foam. But there is a bit of a caveat here. Instead of 2 layers, there's now 3 layers of CloudTec pods in this shoe. And that's mainly there for impact absorption when going through your stride, and I'll explain a little bit more about that and how that operates in a minute. The next thing that's important to note about the midsole of this shoe is the nylon speedboard plate that runs through this model. It was in the second version, it was in the first version, and it just provides that propulsiveness and snappy feeling on foot. It also creates a little bit of stability in the shoe too. So when you combine both the CloudTec, the Helion, the geometry, and the speedboard all into the midsole, you get a really nice forward momentum. But like we said, mainly the experience of this shoe is a springy one. And why is that? Well, it's mainly due to these CloudTec pods. These CloudTec pods, as you're coming down onto your stride, they compress. And when they compress down, they take in all of that energy that you've put into your stride, and the technology bounces you back forward. So when they decompress, your body is actually vaulting forward, your foot vaults forward into that next stride. And with that, as your foot is sort of flexing and that speedboard is flexing, the speedboard technology bounces back really quickly, so that's another reason why the momentum continues to carry you forward. And the stack of this shoe comes in at 35 millimeters in the heel and 29 millimeters in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. And despite the high stack and the cushioning, which is firmer than many other max cushion running shoes out there, it does prioritize responsiveness over softness. So if you're someone who wants a faster, more springy and responsive shoe, and you're not really that fussed about a softer shoe, then something like the On Cloudmonster 3 is gonna work best for you. So the big question is, who is the On Cloudmonster 3 really best for? Well, it's really for someone who enjoys a more firm and energetic ride, someone who's looking for a more versatile daily trainer that can take this out for long runs, maybe do a little bit of speed work, can get a lot of daily training miles in out of this shoe. It really is a workhorse that can do it all. And it's a shoe that not just works for running, but for walking too. If you're someone who just wants this as a comfortable walking shoe, you like On shoes, you like the style, you like the look of them, and you just want to go out for a walk in them, or you want to run your errands or you want to just use them as a lifestyle shoe, something like this is a good bet. Overall, from a ride perspective, it is a firmer daily trainer, but it does have a really springy feel to it. And it has a nice smooth rocker transition system that does bring you from one stride to the next. And On here was really just looking to make a more max cushion running shoe that was responsive rather than on the soft side. But if you want to learn even more about this shoe, you can check out our full review on the blog at fleetfeet.com. And if you're interested in learning even more about other running shoe reviews for On products, you can check them out right here on our YouTube channel.